Thinking of relocating but afraid of paying a high flight rate? Well, moving is exciting, but let's be honest, it can also be expensive. Your airplane ticket is one of the highest costs you'll face during relocation. The good news? There are so many ways to find cheap flights. Flight prices constantly change, and knowing when and how to book can make all the difference. The goal is simple: get to your destination without overspending. In this guide, we'll provide easy but powerful tips for finding the best deals so you can start your next adventure without emptying your wallet. Let's get started. Number 10. Book flights that avoid airport rush hours. Timing is everything if you don't want to waste money on airfare without airport rush hours. The cheapest flights are almost always the early morning flights. Why? Because airports and airlines pay lower takeoff fees early in the day. Ticket prices also fall. If you're an early bird, this is a great way to fly cheaply while clearing security with minimal crowds. But let's be realistic. Not everyone is a morning bird. The second best option? Red-eye flights. These overnight flights usually leave around midnight, and arriving the next day is a budget traveler's gold mine. Airlines know that most travelers would rather get a good night's sleep in their bed than sit up in the air. Because of this, red-eye flights are usually cheaper than daytime flights, which is a good deal. And if you're taking long-haul, especially on transatlantic flights, choosing an overnight flight can cut a big chunk from your ticket price. Here's the catch: airlines also know we love convenience. Most travelers prefer flights that neatly fit into their schedule without disrupting their beauty sleep. So airlines charge more for daytime flights. If you're flexible, choosing odd-hour flights can save you big money, especially during the holiday season when prices go through the roof. The trick? Book at the right time and be smart about when you fly. It's a simple trick, but it does wonders to get the best relocation trip bargain. Number 9. Utilize flight search engines. If you are patient, flight search engines can be a great way to find the lowest fares. This method requires work in comparing prices on different sites and tracking fare changes, but the savings are worth the inconvenience. Some search websites show different prices for the same flight, so price comparison on multiple sites can assist you in determining the best price. It is also a good idea to set up fare alerts to notify you when prices are lowered. Airlines and booking sites increase and decrease prices based on demand, so a deal not available yesterday might be available today. With a bit of time and research, you can be sure you're getting the best available price for your travel and not paying too much for the same flight. Number 8. Be flexible. You don't need to be a retired world traveler with a lifetime of available time to enjoy flexible travel arrangements. The secret to finding the lowest fares? Being flexible and willing to adjust a few details. Instead of reserving one place on fixed dates, list spots that excite you. The more spots on your list, the better your chances of landing a fantastic deal. Sometimes the most incredible adventures lie in places you never considered. One of the easiest ways to find cheap flights is to use Google Flights Price Map tool. Simply type in your departure city, choose a general time frame, and let the tool tell you which destinations charge the least. You may be surprised to see that this way you can save hundreds of dollars. Another hack? Consider flying out of a different airport. If you're near multiple major airports, compare prices at each airport. Sometimes driving an extra hour to another airport can cut your ticket price in half, especially on international flights. The same principle works for your destination. Suppose you're visiting Koh Samui, Thailand. In that case, you'll find that flying into a central hub like Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, or Singapore first, and then taking an affordable regional flight is a fraction of the cost of one long-haul ticket directly to the island. Airlines price tickets based on demand, and sometimes splitting your trip into 2 segments can be a smart move. And here's a golden tip. Always look at the Google Flights price calendar before you book. Changing your travel dates by a day or two can result in a massive price reduction or a far superior route. Airlines constantly adjust their prices according to demand, so flexibility can reward you in terms of saving you money. Flexible plans are also handy when selecting extras such as baggage, seat selection, or hotel deals. The more flexible you are, the more opportunities you'll have to secure a fantastic bargain. And let's be honest, who doesn't want to save money for better things? Number 7. Leave extra things. Airlines are clever about making their ticket prices look like the best deal, but the truth is the prices can jump as soon as you start adding on extras. That's why it's always best to know exactly what you need before you book. If you're not careful, you could end up paying a lot more than expected. Checked bags are one of the most significant hidden fees. Some airlines, especially budget airlines, charge so much for bags that you'd be better off booking a ticket that includes a checked bag. And don't assume your carry-on is free either. Some budget airlines even charge for that. Seat selection is another way airlines squeeze more money out of passengers. You can disregard this charge if you don't care where you sit, but if you're the type who needs the perfect seat, you'll probably have to pay extra. Some airlines still include free selection at check-in, so you can wait and take your chances if you're lucky. Then there's flexibility. During the pandemic, most airlines included free changes, but most have returned to their old policies. No changes or refunds unless you pay a fee. If your plans aren't solid, choosing a more flexible ticket might be worth it. Flying does not have to be a bank breaker, but airlines will do their best to get you to shell out as much as possible. The key is to know where they are tacking on additional fees and remain one step ahead. With clever planning, you can avoid paying extra for unnecessary additions and keep your trip within budget. Number 6. Choose the right days. The booking day can make a difference if you want to save on flights. There is no magic recipe for lower fares, but certain days are less busy, which sometimes means lower fares. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays are usually the least expensive days to travel if you're flying for a cheap flight. Business travelers often leave on Mondays and return on Fridays, and leisure travelers prefer Fridays or Sundays for weekend getaways or week-long vacations. That leaves the middle of the week and Saturdays as free travel days, which the airlines may sell slightly cheaper to fill seats. Of course, there are no promises here. Airline prices change constantly, and sales are also demand-driven. But if you have control over when you travel, it's worth checking flights on these days. Naturally, flying on less crowded days generally means no lines at security, fewer airport crowds, and a more pleasant travel experience. It's a small decision that can make a big difference in your wallet and trip. Number 5. Get a free tour or hotel stay. A long layover does not have to be a tedious wait in the airport. Some airlines and airports offer free or low-cost city tours for passengers with long layovers, while others offer free or discounted hotel stays for overnight breaks. You can explore a new city without extra cost if you have at least 6 hours between flights. There are usually a few restrictions, but it's an easy way to turn a layover into an unplanned adventure instead of just killing time in the terminal. Number 4. Use the 24-hour rule. Airfares can change instantly, and often the perfect deal pops up when you least expect it. That's where the 24-hour rule comes in. This lesser-known trick allows you to book a flight without the pressure of commitment. According to a U.S. Department of Transportation rule, airlines must allow you to either hold a fare for free for a bit or cancel within 24 hours with no penalty. Most airlines go with the latter, so if your flight is going to or from the U.S. and you've booked directly with the airline at least 7 days in advance, you can cancel within 24 hours for a full refund, no questions asked. This is a game changer, particularly if you're attempting a low-fare flight but aren't sure about your travel arrangements. It gives you an entire day to confirm your plans, check with travel partners, or even make a comparison for better deals. Some online travel agencies like Priceline offer versions of this rule, so you don't necessarily have to book directly with the airline. And a final trick, if you reserve a flight and the price drops within those 24 hours, you can cancel your original ticket and reserve the cheaper one instead. Number 3. Change your currency or location. Finding the lowest price on a flight is not always a one-search-and-book situation. Sometimes airlines price differently based on where or in which currency you're paying. This means that you can save by changing your virtual location or paying in the airline's local currency. It's a simple trick that won't always work, but the savings can be considerable when it does. If you're booking with an international airline, try searching in one tab with your usual settings, home country and currency, and in another with your location and currency set to the airline's home country. Compare the two and see if one is lower. There's a myth that airlines track your searches and raise the price if they see you've searched for the same flight twice, but there's no solid evidence that this is true. So instead of wasting time deleting your browser history, invest the time in more effective ways of getting a deal, such as changing locations, comparing currencies, or simply booking at the right time. It's all about being savvy with your searches and knowing where to find the best price. Number 2. Buy 2 separate round-trip tickets. Sometimes the most affordable method of flying isn't always purchasing a non-stop flight. Instead, it is looking outside the box. Instead of searching for flights to your final destination, you might find a much cheaper option by purchasing 2 round-trip tickets. The trick is getting as close as possible to where you're going for the best rate, and then buying a second flight, train, or bus for the second half of your journey. Travelers call this the Greek islands trick since it benefits islands like Santorini or Mykonos. Instead of paying for an expensive ticket that'll bring you directly to the island, you could book a cheaper flight to Athens and then grab a quick, cheap flight or ferry. This single trick could save you hundreds of dollars. If you're traveling to Paris, for example, you may be able to find a much cheaper flight to Amsterdam, London, or Barcelona. The best part? You can turn this money-saving trick into a mini adventure. Why not spend a day or two exploring the bonus city rather than rushing through your connection? You save money and gain another destination to boot. Number 1. Flyer programs. Loyalty programs can save money on flights, and if you fly a lot, they can pay off significantly. By joining frequent flyer programs, you can earn reward points every time you fly with a specific airline, which can be exchanged for discounts, upgrades, or even free flights. The second smart way to maximize your rewards is to seek credit card tie-ups with airlines. Some credit cards offer bonus points or miles on flight booking, helping you earn rewards even faster. In the long term, these points can mean huge discounts, making your loyalty worth it. So if you're a frequent flyer, it's always ideal to join these programs and take every opportunity to earn and redeem points. That's it for today's video. These tips will help you score the best deals for your move and make your move less stressful and more affordable. If this helped you out or you have suggestions for scoring cheap flights, comment below. And don't forget to watch the following video for more travel and move hacks. Safe travels, and we'll catch you in the next one.